Right after graduating, I see so many teachers feel like their only option is to start teaching at a yoga studio. Now, there are great things about teaching at a yoga studio, but it's not the only way. And what I'm seeing as the trend of the industry is that it is best to start to step outside of the yoga studio if you are looking to make yoga teaching a career, whether that's part-time or full-time. So, today, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of teaching in a yoga studio and also the pros and cons of teaching outside the studio. Let's dive in. So, pros of teaching inside a yoga studio. One is the community. It's connecting to other people over tea, it's seeing the same people in person at your local studio. This can be such a wonderful benefit. And often this has nothing to do with money. It's like where you find your friends or where you connect to other people outside of home and work. And it can be a wonderful, wonderful benefit. Another benefit of teaching in a studio is you can be surrounded by other teachers and learn from other teachers just by taking their class because you're part of that community. I'm seeing that work sometimes and not others. It depends on your schedule and if you're taking class inside of the studio. Okay, the cons of teaching inside a studio is they're really at this point in the industry in 2026, there's a real pay ceiling. It's pretty difficult to make a living inside of a yoga studio unless the studio you're working for has an amazing marketing budget and a marketing team, which is possible and it exists. Often they don't. Often they're asking you to be the marketing team, which is rough, especially as a new teacher. New teachers aren't always that great at marketing. Some of us have a marketing background, but often they're asking the teachers to be the marketing team and promote on Instagram, which is just an indicator that they're not running the business with business practices that are going to be super lucrative. So that's a con of teaching inside of a studio. It's kind of the biggest one is currently we're not always set up to be able to make enough. Another con, when you teach inside the studio, you often can't get 5 hours of work in a row. Sometimes, not always. So you end up driving all over town. If you are more of a consolidate my efforts kind of a person, driving all over town can be a little difficult. It's a difficult way to make money and it can just be exhausting. Okay, let's talk about the pros of teaching outside of the studio. One of the biggest ones is you can start to use your own unique gifts to develop your own thing. It's creative, it's entrepreneurial, and it can be really exciting if that's your personality and that's what you want to do. So this is what I help yoga teachers with the most. This is what my new structured mentorship program is all about, is helping find your unique gifts, the ones that are at the forefront of your mind and the ones that are hidden. So we use mentorship to find those and then find a way to create a career around your best gifts and your best offers. So this can be way more lucrative than teaching in a yoga studio for $25 to $45 a class. Another pro of teaching outside of the studio is you can be home. There's a lot less driving depending on what you choose. That could be flying to get to a retreat center and being there for several days. That could be creating a virtual business. So you're at home and you're able to run your business during nap time if you're a parent. Um, this takes out that bouncing all around. Okay, let's talk about the cons. One of the big things, like, this is not for you if you're not feeling entrepreneurial. Really, where the yoga industry is right now, if you are going to teach outside of the studio, it's good to have some creativity, some gumption, some excitement around creating your own thing, whether you know how to run your own business or you are excited to learn. Another con of teaching outside of the studio is unless you structure it well, it can be lonely. So it can be that you're stuck in front of your computer instead of easily going into a studio and connecting with your people. Now, I see a lot of people successfully not feel lonely running their business, whether that looks like adding in-person events or having the whole thing be a retreat business or whatever it is. The whole thing is in person. So it's possible to not be lonely, but the entrepreneurial path can feel a little lonely. Okay, that's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg, but I hope that gets your brain going. I hope that's useful as you step into whatever it is that you're out there doing, creating as a yoga teacher. As always, glad to connect. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Happy day to you.